Hi guys, it's Leah with Family Heritage Living. I'm out at the house right now. I am making some scrumptious cookies, and I brought the video camera because Ron wanted to do a couple devotions and I had a couple video ideas, but the first video I'm doing is actually an update. One of the last videos that we did was on the sale of our home, and we were waiting for a closing date. Now, originally it was supposed to be May 11th. It got postponed a little bit, which, you know, that happens. They needed the underwriter wanted another inspection, which was fine, and it went fine, not a problem. In fact, it was one we paid for, which is fine, but it kind of comes around to the long of the story. We paid for it because our buyer couldn't, and that happens. We understand that. We've been there before when buying a house. You know, all of a sudden there's an unexpected expense that the underwriter wants, and you're like, okay, I'm already strapped because I've already paid for an appraisal, and I've paid for this, and I've paid for that as a buyer. So we said, well, we'll go ahead and we'll pay for the inspection to keep the sale moving forward. So got that done, and that was all good. The underwriter was happy, and they went to do their final, I can't remember the exact terminology that's used in the real estate business for this, but apparently they always do two checks on the income of the purchaser, one at the beginning when they get pre-approved and one right before the house closes. And we were waiting last week for the final closing date because they were just waiting to hear back from the underwriter with the go-ahead. And we got a call Thursday that the underwriter ran into a problem with the buyer's income because the income had changed, and that meant that the sale was dead. So here we are again. I'm not gonna lie, there was a lot of disappointment from all of us, and we felt really bad actually for the people that wanted to buy the house because they were I'm trying to think of how to put this. They were what would not be considered as a nuclear family because it was the father, his daughter who just had a baby, and the baby's father. And they were just, you know, times are hard, okay? And prices are out of this world. And if you don't own a home and you want to own a home, you got to be, I guess, creative. And they, you know, we're willing to work together as a family. So, So we kind of were bummed out all the way around. And though, you know, we've been in prayer about this forever, for years, about selling this place. This is the second offer that looked like it was going to go through, and this one really was going to go through. In fact, the house was off the market for over 4 weeks, so we lost 5 weeks of time for it to be being shown, people being interested. And, you know, yeah, we have questions, but we all agreed that it doesn't change the fact that we trust God, that we trust that He's got this. The problem that we're running into is we're not feeling any clear direction, and I know that's happened in times past for us for certain things. But usually there is something that says, okay, you need to go in this direction. And truly, I mean, we've been in prayer, we've been in fasting, we've been in the Word, we've been just really seeking Him. And we just don't feel that we know what direction to go in. It doesn't feel right for us to consider moving back here full time. It doesn't feel right for us to go home yet, though, because we have this place and it's a lot of responsibility. 600 miles away. You know, if it were an hour away or even 2 hours away, but you're talking 12 hours away. And we've had it here since 2016, and we know how quickly the yard grows, or this can happen or that can happen. And with it being, you know, in the condition for selling, we just don't feel that that's the right move either. I'll be right back. So, I don't know. I know just because we don't feel direction doesn't mean God's not working. Sometimes it can be just a lesson for someone as they're to continue to seek Him. Sometimes the feeling of no direction can actually be what it's all about. It's that, I think when in the big spectrum, because I do think there's other things underneath, but in the big spectrum of things, it's continuing to trust Him, to not get discouraged with Him. It's okay to have questions. It's okay to have tears. We talked with just Zeb and Simi the other day, that it's okay to cry. It's okay to want to be home because we're homesick. But what's not okay is to not trust God in this. And it's okay to even throw a little fit. Get it out of our system. God created us. He knows how we get, but we've got to get that out of our system and get beyond it. So now I have a question for you all. We want your input. We have some options, but again, we're not feeling any direction. And we're asking for input just because sometimes asking for input can give you direction, but we're curious, what would you do? Right now, that we've been down here for almost a year with a small break back home, and we've been staying at my sister's. She's welcomed us there. We could stay out here at the house, but the reason we've chosen not to do that, honestly, we thought this place would sell a lot quicker. The first 4 of the months that we were down here last year was working on the place, so that didn't work out real well for us staying here, so she opened her home to us. Then we thought this place would sell really quick, at least within the first few months, but here we are. We're going on 6 months being listed, and 2 offers, and both have sunk. Now some people would say, well, there it is, that's obviously what God wants you to do. Those offers didn't work, but that just, it still doesn't feel right. There's the thing is, and we always say you can't feel God on serve God on feelings, but there's no feeling of discernment. When I talk about a feeling, I'm not talking about a feel good feeling. I'm talking about, that's the discerning factor. Yes, we really feel God is pushing us in that direction. So I can't, we don't feel God is pushing us in the direction to stay out here. We don't feel God is pushing us in the direction to stay at my sister's. We don't feel God is pushing us in the direction to move, go back home, come what may down here. We're just kind of there. And hey, I gotta wash my hands. I'm sorry, I got cookie dough all over. Okay, so for me, because some of this is, we live in the world, so my flesh says, I am so nasty, guys. Because I've taken care of a home for over 3 decades, and in the past year, we've been, like I said, we've been at my sister's. That's her home, though we have felt welcome. It's still not our home. I'm nesty to get my chicks in their right spot, in their place. So part of coming out here sounds good, yet on the other hand, all of our stuff is up home, and we can't go up home to get it. It wouldn't make much sense to go up home and get it, so it means we'd have some things we'd have to purchase. So I really just don't know. I don't know. Ron doesn't know, the kids don't know, we just don't know. So what would you do if you were in our place? Would you stay at your family's members who has welcomed you with open arms? Would you go ahead and get your family to the house you're trying to sell, trying to make it a home, at the same time knowing how, if you've never sold a home, you're constantly people are coming through, it's at the last minute, it's not necessarily real convenient with the shift Ron works, which is 4 to 3 at his latest, and so he comes home and he sleeps from 5 to 11. So it's kind of, it's just really no clear answers. So in the comment section below, if you have an opinion, if you have a thought, if you know what you would do, and that's what I want to do, put yourself in our position and say, this is what I would do. And if you can go a step further and say why you would do it, what would be your reasoning, I'd appreciate hearing from you. So, all right, I'm going to sign off on this video, and we're going to be doing just some simple, real quick cooking videos. I keep putting it off because, again, we're not at home. But I'm just tired of putting it off, and I've got 8 pages of ideas for cooking videos and other videos, and if I keep waiting, well, we may be another decade older. So, all right, we'll talk to y'all soon. God bless.